This is ridiculous as Macklin Celebrini falls to third in Calder voting this season. We're going to talk about how badly they screwed this up, plus another Shark who made the Calder voting list coming up on this episode of Sharks Digest. But before we dive into all that, we just got to say that 66% of you guys watching these videos aren't subscribed to the channel. So if you're not subscribed, you want to stay up on the latest Sharks news, make sure you're down below and hit that subscribe button. But that said, we got a big topic to get in today, and that is the Calder Award was announced today. The award winner was announced, and it was Lane Hutson of the Montreal Canadiens. And maybe something that we did expect going into this award. We did kind of expect that Lane Hutson could go out and win this, and but we did think that Macklin Celebrini could be a very close second to win this trophy today, but that's not what voters said. As we just take a look at the vote here, I will make it bigger for you guys so you can read it. We see Lane Hutson have 165 votes for the first place, winning the Calder Trophy by a landslide here, it looks like. But then you see second place, you don't see Macklin Celebrini's name. You see Dustin Wolf, as Dustin Wolf beats Macklin Celebrini by just over 60 points to be finished as the runner-up in this year's Calder Trophy voting. But one interesting thing that I did want to point out here in this picture is you see how the votes were casted, as Macklin Celebrini had 11 first place votes, 61 second place votes, 106 third place votes, but there has been 13 people in this, 13 voters that say Macklin Celebrini should have been left out of the top 3, which is absolutely ridiculous. Obviously, we all know how great of a season Macklin Celebrini did. He really carried the second half of this season for the San Jose Sharks, breaking some records and really, proving to be the number one pick, proving to everybody why he was selected as the first overall selection. And to me, I think he had a better season than Dustin Wolf. You can't count out what Dustin Wolf did this season. He had a tremendous year. He had 51 starts for the Calgary Flames, but he did only put up a league average save percentage of about a 901. That's around league average. So it wasn't, numbers that were jumping off the page. Yesterday he got a lot of wins, but you got to think about the team that he had in front of him. He had a way better, a way more established team, a way more experienced team in front of him, and a great decor in front of him. So, that's why I think Dustin Wolf shouldn't be second here, is because he had all the pieces for him to have a successful season as a goaltender. And I think Macklin Celebrini, yes, this Sharks team did look good at times, but he has been downright the reason why they were winning games at times this season, and was really showing to be, the most valuable player for his team. And that's why he should be second in this voting. Yes, you can make a case for him to win this. I think it's a tough case to fight, because I think of what Lane Hutson has done as a defenseman in his first season in a year where everybody was harping on him, saying he was just going to fizzle out, he was a flash in the pan. And he went out and proved everybody wrong, got 60 assists from the blue line, and just had a tremendous season. So, you can't take it away from Lane Hutson, but you definitely need to see that Macklin Celebrini is the second place runner-up in this voting. I mean, if we just take a look at what he did this season, he had 63 points in 70 games, almost a point per game, and he was a point per game the second half of the season, 25 goals, 38 assists. But it's not just the stats, it is the records that he either broken or tied this season. Just look at this. As an NHL San Jose rookie, he is the franchise rookie. He broke the franchise rookie scoring record, having 63 points in 70 games, like we just mentioned. He also tied the franchise rookie record for game-winning goals with 4. He showed how clutch he was this year at times. And even here, he, as an 18-year-old, he had a historic feat by having a 5-point game at 18. There's not very many players that can say that in the NHL, that at 18 they've had a 5-point game. He's up there with elite players just on that alone. And if you just keep going here, you see that he had his first NHL hat trick among all rookies this season. He was the first to get one. He was second amongst rookies in points, obviously falling behind Lane Hutson there. And he was the second fastest by number one pick to have an NHL a goal. So he had his first goal and assist in an NHL debut at the 7:01 minute mark in an overtime loss. So you just see this. These are examples of how good Macklin Celebrini, how good of a season that he did have, and a reason to me of why he should be the runner-up here. This is just flat out ridiculous why he didn't win this, or not win this award, but even come runner-up. You know, I'm fine with him not winning just because of how good of a season Lane Hutson had. If you're in a season where Lane Hutson isn't a rookie, Macklin Celebrini wins this trophy hands down. There is no doubt about that. And I think that's what happened with Connor Bedard. Obviously, he didn't have, he had a solid rookie season, but there wasn't very much competition around him to win this award. But this year, there's 3 great guys that could have won this trophy, and I think it's just disrespectful to Macklin Celebrini that, they went out and gave him 3rd place, and 13 people voted him under the top 3, which is absolutely ridiculous in my mind. And as one Twitter user says here, that Macklin Celebrini sophomore season is going to hit like crack now, and I definitely have to agree with this, because I think he's going to see this and he's going to say, okay, you know, I'm going to show them. I'm going to prove to them why I deserve to be the Rookie of the Year. Why I deserve to be the runner-up. And he's just going to switch into demon mode and have an insane season for the San Jose Sharks team next year. I think this just gives him some added motivation. And a NHL player, especially such a young player who is motivated, you better look out, because this guy's going to have a fireworks season for the San Jose Sharks next year. But there was also another player on this list that was on the San Jose Sharks this season. That's Will Smith. As you see, he comes 6th in Calder voting this year with 2 votes for the 4th the 4th place in this voting. He also had 56 4th place votes, so a lot of votes there for Will Smith. Obviously not as much as Cutter Gauthier. That's why, he's about 30 points in the difference there, but I think it's great seeing him over names like Logan Stankoven, a guy who really had a good year in Carolina. Jackson Blake, another guy who had a great year in Carolina. And these are all guys on contending teams. I mean, you look, St. Louis, look, that's a contending team. Detroit, Marco Casper. These are all guys that are on contending teams and they're not in the midst of a rebuild. And you're, putting Will Smith over guys like this season, which is so great to see, because obviously he had a great year, a great second half of the season. He was almost I think he was a point per game player after the Four Nations break, and really turned it on and was looking like he was either scoring a goal or making a play happen every single time he was on the ice, and was really noticeable. And obviously we've seen this now with him in international competition this summer, and has really broken out to be a next star in this league to a lot of NHL fans' eyes. So I think it's great that he did get the recognition that he does deserve here with the 6th place selection in this year's Calder voting, and I'm just really excited for him. And I'm really upset for Macklin Celebrini, because these guys deserve better. They deserve Macklin Celebrini deserves the respect that he earned this season by carrying the Sharks team at times and just breaking a lot of records, being a tremendous player for this team all season long, and a great two-way guy as well. Obviously a great 200-foot player, which is something I didn't mention in this video, but it is definitely something that should have taken account into him beating Dustin Wolf in this race. But I want to hear your guys' thoughts down below. I know you guys are probably saying the same thing I am, is saying, yeah, Macklin got robbed, which he definitely did. But I want to hear your guys' thoughts down below. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe to the channel. We'll be here all the time. Keep me up to date on the latest San Jose Sharks news. But as always, I've been your host, KC. Keep your stick on the ice.